Hi everybody. I know I typically don't narrate on my videos, but this time there's just so much information I kind of needed to in order to get it all out to you. As you all know, there's a major rebalancing going on right now on the test server. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet Pixonic has released with the proposed changes for this balancing update. I'm also going to link it in the subscription to the video. I hope you find the information useful, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for my channel. Generally, when I start the test server each weekend, I like to start off with a replica of my live hangar, just so that I know how these changes might affect what I normally do. As we drop into this first Beacon Rush match, please keep in mind that on the test server, I don't always play to win each match, and sometimes I'm a little more aggressive than I would be on the live server. This is just for me to get a little more testing in, some more of the extreme gameplay, if you will. Now, as I drop in with this Pursuer, the main thing I'm looking at is how the Gust are going to perform with the latest nerf to the Gust. And then I'm going in, as I typically would, to try and rush to that center beacon to initially take control of the game. As you see here, the Halo is very effective for looting players, even at lower levels like level 8. And here you're going to see I get way more aggressive than I normally would. I would typically back off and wait for my ability before I went after another player. But I just wanted to go ahead and cycle through the bot and make sure that I have enough time to try and get through several of them on the same game. So now I'm going to drop in with a Heishi. The Heishi is taking a pretty heavy nerf this go around. Maybe a little bit too much of a nerf in my opinion. The bot itself is fairly strong, but in the current meta on live server, it's already been replaced by several of the other stronger bots, so I'm not sure that it's really needed to nerf the health and the shield and the ability. As for the Terran, I kind of like the little tweak that they've given to it. Gives it a little bit more power, allows you to compete a little bit more with it, so overall, I'm happy with that. So now I'm running the Inquisitor, and while the Inquisitor didn't get any changes as of right now, the Ember got a slight buff, and the Organs got a little bit of a nerf. So far, the Organs, they can still get the job done. I don't think the nerf is that drastic, so hopefully people aren't really too bothered by that part. And now I'm jumping into the Mercury, which is one of my favorite bots to play on the live server. It did get a considerable buff to its health, its ability damage, and to its amount of time in stealth after it hits the ground. I think this bot is already pretty powerful, and I think these changes are going to make it much more desirable on the live server. Now, don't take too much into consideration as far as me getting wiped out right there. There was a lot of damage coming in, and I don't think any bot would have survived that. But as you see, I've jumped into the Spectre. A lot of people are upset about the nerfs to the Spectre. Lose some of the ability time as far as how long it is stealth, as well as the speed to find cover. And finally, the nerf to its ability reuse going from 18 to 22 seconds. Personally, I do own the Spectre on the live server. I don't think that these changes are really that bad. It's still a very usable bot, still a very deadly bot. It could get the job done. It's just going to require a little more skilled play in order to make it as successful as it has been. Now looks like my team's getting ready to start botting out. Keep in mind that most of what I'm talking about as far as my opinions and what I've experienced on the test server, it's not just this one match that I'm showing you here. I've played several matches, I just didn't record everything, so I'm giving you some of my opinions based on a lot more than what you're seeing right here. Now, one thing I haven't really talked about yet is a new indicator as far as showing you when your weapons are in range. The only thing I've really noticed on that is when you're looking at the range of a bot that you have targeted, if your weapons are in range to hit that bot, it'll show 2 arrows next to the range of the bot. Another change that I've noticed but wasn't mentioned anywhere on the test notes is a change to the notification that you've been rooted. Instead of showing up on the left hand side as a red marker saying that you've been rooted and a 5-second countdown, it's now been changed to your left paddle itself will disappear, and you won't be able to use it to move at all until the root has worn off. So now on the next match, I'm going to use a HANGAR that's pretty much made up of the current BADA builds, and you'll see some of the more popular builds as I go through this next match. So now we're going to drop into a beacon rush. Once again, I'm starting out with my Pursuer. I love the Pursuer. It's a great bot. He's a lot of fun to play in just about any mode. But in the beacon matches, I like to drop in first on something speedy, try and get out there and take those beacons initially, give you the best chance of success. Typically on the weekends, I only release one testing video, but with so much going on, I think I'm going to end up having more than one video this weekend to cover all of the testing. Like I said, right now this is more of a meta build, and I'd like to also get some footage of some of the main changed bots, if you will, and weapons, kind of showcase the Falcon a little bit more on some of the other video that I might put out this weekend. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can take a look at the future videos that I'm also going to put out. As you can see, there's a lot of people running Falcons right now on test as one of the major change bots. It's a very powerful bot. I can see it really taking over as the next alpha bot, if you will. Here I am jumping in, trying to take out that same Falcon that just took out my other bot, and I'm really not doing much damage to it at all. Now I'm going to jump into this Spectre shock train just to kind of see how the shock trains are. Some pretty big nerf to the shock trains, which I think is very much needed. They're a very overpowered weapon. They have the range, they have the damage, they have everything. So personally, I'm not too sad to see them get a heavy nerf. I think it's long past due, and I think a lot of other players probably agree with that. So now I drop into the Bulgasari. The Bulgasari took a pretty decent nerf, both to its physical shield and its health. But overall, playing with it in several matches here on test, it's still a very good bot. I don't think too many people are really going to have any problems as far as the nerf itself. Now, the weapons that I put on here, the Scourges also took a small nerf. Now, honestly, I think they can probably stand to lose a little bit more of their damage. They're a very difficult weapon to contend with in the higher leagues. People have them maxed out. But overall, I don't think the nerf is really anything to be too concerned about if you are somebody that plays a ball with Scourges or put your scourges on anything else. I think they're still going to be a very nice weapon to use and to have. You can see, even playing with the Bulbasaur, after I've lost the physical shield, I'm still able to survive for a little while, put out some decent damage, and continue playing the game. So as this match starts winding down, I'm going to go ahead and let it finish playing through, just so you can see some of the other players using some of these weapons and bots. But overall, my initial impression on this first phase of testing for the rebalancing, I think they're going in the right direction. The game does seem to be a little more in balance. There is still some overpowered bots and weapons. I'm not exactly sure why they thought it was a good idea to buff some of these weapons that are already overpowered, but hey, you know, that's why we're testing. And I'm hoping that Pixonic will accept our feedback on items like that Dragoon that they did buff, even though it was already overpowered on the live server. The Falcon right now on test server is pretty overpowered, and I'm hoping that they can reel that in some without taking away from what they're trying to do as far as buffing it up, making it more desirable to play. If you've had a chance to play at all on test server this weekend, please feel free to leave your feedback, your comments, your ideas and thoughts in the comments below. And stay tuned for some future releases from test server as far as my videos and content. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and stick around. I will see you guys later.